my swell time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my swell time. Gonna mess up your whole mind. This is my swell time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my swell time. Gonna mess up your whole mind.
Welcome to Work the Left Side. I'm hyped to announce I'm joined tonight by B&B from Salford City Wrestling. We are here to talk about your guys' first show coming up on the 18th of October. Gentlemen, how are we? Are we good, first of all?
Good, thanks. Before we go any further, everybody says Salford. It's not Salford, it's Salford.
Salford, sorry.
Salford. Big up for Jack Johnston there, because if he hears that, he'll go absolutely mental, won't he? So.
Salford City Wrestling.
Salford.
There we go.
There we go.
I'll dub it over this previous one. So yeah. I'm kicking myself now because I always check. I never trust my own pronunciations. I nearly always check before I hit record, and I forgot this time, and it's come back to bite me in the arse. So there we go.
Yeah, you live on
that. So Salford getting its own promotion. Yeah, you guys hyped for your debut show, I presume.
Yeah, getting closer and closer, innit?
Yeah, so the ticket page says 39 days. I check the ticket page daily, as Boyley knows.
Hourly.
We did have a crazy weekend though, so we're on 110 tickets already, which is wild.
Phenomenal considering well, today we announced the third match, didn't we? But yeah, previously with two matches, sold 110 tickets. That's just insane.
But today's was the Alfie Lily Winter, wasn't
it? Today we announced, an hour ago we announced Troy Ryan against Phil Michael, and last week it was Lily against Alfie.
Yeah. No, to be fair, I think now that we've crossed the 100 ticket barrier, I'm a lot more excited about it. That wasn't to begin with. I'm just saying, like, we've crossed. That was like a line, weren't it? Where we were like, if we get to 100 tickets, that'd be great, and then anything above that would be fantastic. But yeah, because we've got to this limit, and we've still got loads more matches. So I'm assuming there'll be quite a few more ticket sales. But I'm hoping anyway.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
How did it come about then? Obviously, Salford wrestling, wrestling in the city. What made you guys think, right, let's get a promotion up and running and let's give them something to watch?
I think we both started training together at the same time almost 10 years ago, and obviously being around the business for that long is kind of like I'm at like the tail end of my in-ring career. But obviously I don't just want to leave it. I've given 10 years to it. It's time to start something different. So we thought, why not give running our own promotion a go? We know the people. I'm not going to say we 100% know what we're doing, but we've got a better knowledge than other people who run shows. So yeah, we just thought we'd give it a go.
I think we looked at. I was also in the same mind frame as Boylan recently, where I was like, I'm probably going to finish soon, but then I've kind of had a new lease of life within my wrestling, so I'll probably be carrying on a bit longer anyway. Myself as an active wrestler.
And you realise I'm a lot older than you.
Yeah, I actually thought we were the same age, and he's like 10 years older than me, so. No, I've had a new little lease of life, and I'm trying to get in more places, but that's another conversation anyway. But we also thought there's promotions we've wrestled for, we both wrestled for, we both don't wrestle for, that we think, oh, why don't they do this and why don't they do that? And if they did this, do you not think that would work? Or do you not think it should be done that way? Or just lots of stuff like that. So it's kind of an amalgamation of all the things we think.
Not saying obviously that what people are doing currently doesn't work. It's just a case of.
Because obviously it does.
Yeah.
It's just think, why don't we take the good bits from here, merge it with the good bits from there, merge it with here, just try and merge everything together and make as the best thing we possibly can. And we one thing we noticed that I think we may have proven already, but we've got a long way to go, is that a lot of promotions don't promote on social media as much as they could or can.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously that's all we've been able to do. We've only just put posters and flyers up in the local area last week, and that was before, like, we'd already sold nearly 90 tickets before we'd done the manual posters and flyers. So we've invested in Facebook ads. We've done, we've constantly posted, and we've done it the right way. And my partner's involved in social media and copywriting for a living, so we've had her advice, and her, she's written most of the copy you see online. So I think that's something we really want to focus on. I feel like at the moment it's been working.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like you said, you've got 100 tickets sold already. Only announced, like a few matches. But that's obviously you popped up on my radar because, like you said, the social media side of things. Like the interactions, the posts. The kind of like the teasers, the little graphics here and there before announcing talent. Like the silhouettes or like the little name drops or the hints. It was all very fan interactive. You got people involved, you got people interested. And I think you're right. Your social media is a free source, to get to people. Why would you not use it?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things we're going to concentrate on is sort of putting together shows that people, like the fans, want to come and see. And I think that's why we're led by a lot of what they say sometimes is, well, let's hear them out. Let's see what would make them pay for a ticket. Obviously, not necessarily saying we'll do everything that's suggested, because there have been some very silly suggestions. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's been sort of in line with what we've already been doing anyway.
Yeah, like on Facebook, we just put a question out: what makes people buy a ticket to a wrestling show? And it had about 70 comments. I mean, obviously there was some good, some bad, some indifferent, some wild stuff in there, but I feel like it was just good to see what people actually say, just to have it in the back of my mind going forward and give us ideas.
I think you can take away the good. You can take, you can use the good, take away the bad. I'm sure some people would just said a raffle. Give me a quality raffle. That's I'll go away happy. It's fine. Like say, you both know the business well enough. You've been around. You know what works, what doesn't work. But it's also what works in some places won't work in others. So it's still also going to be like a little bit of trial and error for you guys. I presume.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you'll have been the same as me. Like, you'll have seen certain matches on certain shows that, if they were on a different show, would have got a much better reaction from the crowd that it did. So again,
and vice versa.
Yeah, vice versa. Like, there's some stuff where you just kind of think like, that was amazing, but just this isn't the right crowd for it. So I think that's probably one of the biggest hurdles that we're going to have to get over.
I think that's what we're going to have to figure out. We obviously have a vision of what we want, but I think after the first show, I think we'll have a lot better idea of what the fans in the local area want. So we don't want to just be like, this is our vision, this is what we want. The classic rock meme. We can pivot, do whatever we want. Because at the end of the day, we'd rather do it. We're running it as business, not as a passion project. It needs to make money for us to actually carry on doing it. I know some people will do it at a loss or at a minimum just break even, but for us it's not going to be like that. If we're not making money, we will not carry on. So we're going to do what people want.
That might seem arrogant, I think, maybe to some people, but it's not. At the end of the day, it's a business. You don't go into business to break even or lose money. You go into business to make money.
Yeah, I mean, as a fan sitting on this side of the table, that just makes perfect sense to me. Obviously, like I say, it's like anything. I was, talking to a promotion a couple of weeks ago, and he was asking how many kinds of wrestling fans are there? I was trying to think of a smart ass answer. His logic was 3. It's the same. It's not just for wrestling; it's for any business, whether it be Coke, McDonald's, or whatever. There's 3 kinds of buyers, you've got 3 target members. You've got to look at it as a business. If you're not making money, then why are you doing it, kind of thing?
Yeah, and then I think there are some people who do it just because they love wrestling, and maybe they want to just be on loads of shows and put their own shows on, or anything like that, or I don't know, just because they want to wrestle. And it is a tough business out there to get bookings yourself. So, like, that's one thing we're not doing. Yes, we will be wrestling on it. Me maybe more than Boiling because he's finishing soonish, but we won't be in prominent roles ourselves. We won't be the first champions.
You say you're not booking yourself to be the champs then, no?
Well, not as it stands now. Probably never. Most likely never. Boiling will be retired by the time we
Depends
even
what the
can
fans
afford a
want.
championship.
Depends what
And
the fans want.
I mean, we could do the first show and they all want me to win the title after one match. I'd be like, okay, well, But no, yeah. Oh, seriously, that we won't be happening.
Yeah.
I just want to rewind to what you sort of said before. So like I said, that first show is going to be key. So you're going to be able to see what kind of audience you get in, because like you sort of said, I've been to some shows and they've had the best workers put on an amazing exhibition match, but because there was no storyline to it, the audience were just kind of sat on their hands. They weren't there to watch 5-star wrestling. They were there with the kids just for a bit of pantomime fun, a bit of family friendly wrestling, not your smart wrestling. So you need to gauge what kind of audience you've got before you can plan future shows.
Yeah, I mean, we've got an idea for the first 3 shows. We've got a loose idea of where we want to go. We are going to be character driven because I feel like we both feel like even the people who love your hardcore exhibition matches will still come back for characters because they've invested in the story. Like, look at AEW, for example, recently. Like, it's hardcore for hardcore wrestling fans, but the character work at the moment is to keep what's making people watch. So I think, as you can tell from the social media and the character stuff that we did, like you said before, with the silhouettes, and then we explained who the people were. We did the little character videos of them. Everyone's done a promo for us. Everyone's actually got a character, and from when we sat down and planned out where we would take the first 3 shows, every single person on the show has a direction. There's nobody in there just to be, they're just here for a match because we needed somebody, or they're just here because this person needs to win. Everyone's got, right, they're doing this because they're going that way, they're doing this because of that. Like, everyone's got like I said, direction.
That's awesome. As a fan, that's what, I'm becoming more and more, I get soapboxy about it, kind of the importance of characters, the importance of storytelling, or just stakes in matches, or just seeing that somebody's got a direction, they're not just turning up, having a match and going again kind of thing. I can take that, but for me, the key thing that makes me want to buy a ticket to the next show is the story. I'll buy a ticket to the next show before they've even announced any matches, if as a fan I can tell where the story's going.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. We want to focus on stories, characters, why people do certain things. Does it make sense? Is he attacking that guy for no reason just because we want to set up a match? Or is he attacking him because this guy's done that and he's done that and this guy's done that? And the fans could tell that's why he's done it, or he's explained it well, rather than, we need a main event for next show, he needs to attack him.
It's got to be logical. It's got to make sense. Although you're not just leaving the customers kind of scratching their heads after the show, kind of thing. So, based on the talent you guys have pulled in for the first show, so I was looking at it. You got some awesome names. How did that come about? Was it people that you've worked with previously? Did you have a list of people in mind, and you just fingers crossed the dates were available, or were you just putting feelers out of who would be interested?
I think it's obviously majority of them are on majority of the shows across the Northwest, but each one of them brings something different. So Troy Ryan, for example, you can put Troy Ryan on any poster and he is like, you look at him and you're like, yeah, that dude's a wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of people that we're after. Like, but again, he is on the shows in the Northwest, but he's not. Well, anyway, that we feel anyway that he's probably not in the position that he should be in, and that's what we're trying to do with people now. Is just give them the platform to show off what they can actually do.
Yeah, and to decide the role. So before we even said let's do this, we kind of went, should we have a little meet up and see, if we're on the same page, if we book the same people, So we sat down and we had a nice little lunch. Both went through a list of people we'd written down, and they were very, very similar lists. There were people, obviously exceptions, but we were kind of on the same page. We kind of agreed on a lot of things. At the moment, we we've not had much of a disagreement yet about a wrestler who we think should be on or shouldn't be on. So we seem to be on the same page in all that respect. It's not necessarily like a lot of promotions. Yes, we do know all the people, but we're not best friends with all the people. Some of them we've known for a while, some of them we've not known for very long. Some of them we will have just watched online or got advice off people. So we were careful about who we wanted. There wasn't one person we asked who wasn't available, so we didn't have to be. Obviously, we booked it quite far in advance. So, and we wanted these people, and I think before we made sure everyone was available for that date before we committed to everything, and then we've already made sure everyone we want for the next 2 shows before we've announced them that they'd be available if we for what we want. So we wanted to commit to having a core guy, not a massive roster as well, a core set of guys, make it all about them, and then if we need to bring people in, we bring people in.
That makes all the sense in the world. I suppose just part of the problem as well is sort of you want to kind of build that locker room up, but you want to build like this positive energy, the people that are just want to be there and help you guys make a success of it as well, kind of thing. And based on what I've heard recently, from talking to people, thankfully, it seems like everybody's a lot more positive and just eager to succeed now than several years ago, kind of thing. So I think if you're going to do it, now's a good time to do it because everybody's kind of riding high, and a majority of people are trying to elevate each other.
Yeah, we're in kind of a boom period as well, aren't we, of wrestling at the moment? So it's probably, if there was a time to start, is now.
One name that's jumped out at me, I've just seen him at Tidal recently. I had him on the show a while ago, Alfie. I just think that's awesome. As soon as I saw she was involved, that upped my interest as well. Just an awesome character, great worker. Obviously, you guys knew what he's after. Again, very character-driven kind of thing. You know what you're getting with Alfie. And she can work the family shows or, she can do the crazy freaking death match stuff if needs be as well. She can get slightly physical.
Well, I think out of a lot of the women wrestlers you see, especially in the Northwest and the North, she's, I'd say, probably the most character-driven. Would you agree, Boylan?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, especially with the addition of Dee and Dee getting over everywhere, and so I think it was no-brainer, really.
Just throwing it out there. So I've had this conversation with her before. I just think when she was on, obviously WWE, Shotzi came out with the tank. I just need somewhere to get like an inflatable spaceship for Alfie to come out on an inflatable spaceship or something. I'll put it on the skateboard, have a sit on it, and that's her entrance sword.
I mean, we'd have room. I just don't know where you get one from.
eBay, Amazon,
for a big outdoor.
Temu. But yeah, we also had a remit of, and we still have the remit of no big egos, I think. So obviously we won't name names or anything, but we've dealt with people who've got big egos and been on shows with people with big egos, and that will, for us, say we want a happy locker room because that will reflect in the performance of everybody.
I think you want everyone to be there, don't you? You want everyone to look forward to being there. You want everyone to kind of walk in the locker room and be like, yes, I like these people. I'm happy to work with these people. Just rewind, obviously, you mentioned Troy. For me, Troy is like, I've never seen him work singles in person. I've seen him online kind of thing. I've seen him in person as part of Synergy or Meatwagon. But the dude just looks the business. Like you've hit the nail on the head kind of thing. You put him on a poster and people are like, they don't even have to read professional wrestling. They're just like, that's a wrestling poster.
Exactly. And there's a lot of posters at the moment where you look at it, you're like, I don't know what that's for. I feel like
there's a lot of posters that don't even mention the word wrestling. There's a lot of posters with the venue that's in the small print at the bottom. There's a lot of inconsistencies at the moment.
I think it's again from speaking to people, somebody sort of saying like, that's the key thing on a poster. The biggest word should be Live Pro Wrestling. The actual name of the company itself or the logo obviously should be on there, but it shouldn't be prominent. That's not what's going to get people to the show. They're not going to come to the show based on the name of the promotion. They're going to come because they want to watch wrestling. It says Live Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, there isn't actually. I mean, apart from your top tier, Progress and things, there isn't a promotion, I would say, that is a draw. Maybe not. I could be wrong. There isn't an actual promotion that I think somebody who doesn't know wrestling would look at that and go, "Oh yeah, that's wrestling." Like if they just saw that name, they would be like, "Oh yeah, it's a wrestling promotion." I'll go like, "I've heard of that." I don't think there is. I could be completely wrong.
Progress and Rev Pro, just the ones that for me that kind of get mentioned, like on AEW or something like that. Your casual fans who watch the American stuff, if they saw a Rev Pro poster or a Progress poster, like you sort of said, they'd be like, I know that's wrestling. But yeah, as much as I love, we sponsor True Grit. I love True Grit. That's my love promotion. If I didn't know wrestling and I saw just something say True Grit, I wouldn't know it was wrestling.
Yeah, and even Progress. Somebody who doesn't watch WWE or wrestling, and it's just someone looking for something to do with their kids, they see the word Progress, they don't have a clue what that is.
Just World of Sport. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
really,
exactly. World of Sport, because everyone you speak to goes, "Oh, I used to watch World of Sport. I used to watch Big Daddy," and that's about it. I think it's because we're also wrapped up in it because we've been involved in it. We know everything. We forget that there's this whole community of people who don't have a clue that there's indie wrestling. I didn't know. So when I started wrestling, I did not know there was UK indie wrestling, and I watched WWE all my life.
You knew about some of the other promotions, some of the bigger promotions, didn't you? But you didn't know how in depth the scene was.
I didn't know there was any in the UK. I'll be honest. I didn't go to any when I was young. I started wrestling just after uni, and only because I'd given up playing football, and I thought, can you do wrestling in the UK? Because I watched WWE, and then found out, oh, Preston's opened this an academy close by. Oh, there's all these indie shows. I didn't even know these existed.
I was going to ask that, obviously, because you kind of just to get a feel for obviously where you guys are now. I'll take another generic box, and I'll ask you both kind of your journeys into wrestling, so we can kind of then as you sort of said, you got in after university. You mentioned Preston, then so was it a PCW academy? Was that your gateway into it, or did you train somewhere else?
Yeah, so we both started on the very first intake of the PCW academy in Preston, and there's only the 5 of us left from that original intake. So there's me.
I think out of those 5, I think me and you were the only ones that were fresh to it as well.
Yeah, because people had done training before elsewhere. So there's me, you, Phil Michael, Jack Barron, Dave Birch, and they were the only 5 left.
Dave Birch. I'm been a wrestling fan for many, many years. So Preston, to me, that brings back floods of memories. I used to go to the PCW shows on a monthly basis. That was barring Progress and ICW. At one point, for me, PCW was the 3rd big promotion in this country. So, it must be quite cool just to kind of get your foot in and just being around that back in the day.
I mean, yeah, back then it was wild. We had imports coming in all the time, teaching us classes. There was something on every month. There was at the start, was there 5-6 lessons a week, boy? Then am I wrong? I can't remember.
It was 3 times a week, but our first week, our first week was with Chris Masters.
Yeah.
That was just it was just insane.
I mean, I had Gangrel on week 2.
Yeah, Gangrel on week 2 told everybody that they'd never make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was good.
Wow. I wonder if Dave Birch brought that up to him when he tagged with him at the Future Shock show.
I'll have to ask him. He won't have done. He won't have done. No,
I wouldn't sort of try and be, if Gangrel, I'd just be all apologies. You're just really nice to Gangrel. He's still a scary man to me. Again, being on this side, can't imagine trying to be, smart with them or sarcastic.
No,
Like,
absolutely no.
Obviously, I presume, the Chris Masters thing, obviously, again, memories. I remember Masters versus Chris Travis. I presume he was over around about that time, or for a Road to Glory tournament.
It was, I think it was when Travis first got ill. That's when Masters was. That was when we started training. So yeah, he was over. Well, obviously, he was over anyway because he did. Obviously, he was PCW champion at one point, so he was over for quite a bit. But yeah, so like you turn up at the academy one day, and like Bentley said, you'd have like all these Americans that would just be there, and you're like, and so like sometimes they'd take training sessions for us and stuff. That was always a really good learning curve.
We had all sorts, didn't we? It was Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, Apollo Crews. Well, Uha Nation he was then, wasn't he?
Yeah. Juventud Guerrero. That was probably one of my favourite ones. I think my favourite session that we ever got put on was Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn's just he's such a nice man. He's an absolute unit, but he's such a nice man. I love Billy Gunn.
TV don't do him justice, does it? I remember seeing him at a show and just being like, "Whoa, he's just so much bigger than you think he is," kind of thing. TV is just like. I was really hoping he's going to like say one of the Steiners or something. I just imagine taking a training session with Scott Steiner or something and just being like.
We did one with Scott Hall. That was cool. Scott Hall training session. That was good. He was really tall. It was good.
I like Mr. Anderson, but then that's just because I liked Mr. Anderson in general, I think.
Yeah. When he, Kenderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, one time. I think you've been around these names, so obviously you've got so much experience you can pull from, and now you kind of find yourself on this side of the table. Be like, right, okay, you've got to come up with a plan now. Whether you, like you said, you're planning 3 shows ahead, or once you've got those 3 shows done, you can start planning like for an entire year. But then also just like I said, just building up characters, building up stories, seeing who the fans react to. I mean, are you already kind of got it in your head who's face, who's heel, or are you kind of, is it going to be?
I think there's certain people who we know the role they're going to have, but then there's other people that we don't really know how the audience is going to react to them until they react to them.
Like we've got a plan for certain people, but it can change if the crowd don't go with it. And as brutal as it sounds, it will have to.
We spoke about it, haven't we? There's a few people where we're kind of like, right, we've got these big plans, but we kind of need them to step up for us. If they don't step up, then sorry, somebody else will take your spot. As horrible as that sounds.
Because they've got to help you out. They've got to help you promote the shows. They've got to help you develop the character. So again, that kind of makes sense to me. You need them. So even if it's just 5 minutes after a show, cut a promo backstage, or if you've got a place to, somebody can grab a video camera and just help develop stuff.
It's all about brand image as well. Like we want a certain image. We want, we want to be known for a certain level standard of wrestling and promos, and we don't want to have anyone under a certain standard, and that might hurt some people's feelings, or that might, if we upset people. But everyone we've got is a certain standard that we want.
Definitely. So again, obviously, I've mentioned Alfie. A quick shout out to her opponent as well. Like like you announced last week, Lily Winter again is somebody else who is absolutely tearing it up every time I see him at a show. Saw him at True Grit recently. A very awesome character, very unique. You know what I mean? You book Lily, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, like we said, more characters. She's the Ice Queen. Shows about crowning the king. Of course, she'd be annoyed, pissed off about that. She'll have something to prove on the night, and obviously we've got directions for both of them, and I know we do have just the one women's match on this show, and that's that's something we want to increase. We want more women wrestlers. We have more women wrestlers we have on our list of people we want to book on future shows. It's not just going to be, there's just this women's match to fulfill. We've got a women's match. The women's match will have story, and there'll hopefully be more than one women's match in the future.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, you've got the Take the Throne. So obviously, based on that, it's I'm presuming, we're talking like we've got a tournament going on.
Yeah, so the show's going to start with 3 singles matches, which is at the moment Troy versus Phil, Ayrton versus Jack, and we might be able to guess the other one because it's me. The only other 2 people announced for the tournament are me and Dave Birch. So we've not officially announced it, but potentially that could be the match, but we don't know. We really don't know. But the winners of those 3 matches will then go into the main event in a triple threat to crown the king.
Everybody's probably, some people are calling double duty on the first night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we said, we're running a business, so technically less wrestlers on the first show just to help us get going.
No, again, like I said, it's just good business sense. Any wrestling fan worth the salt loves a good tournament, in all fairness, whether it be the King of the Ring or just any tournament in general, G1. It's just something very cool about it. So I think that's a very good way of getting people's interest on the first show.
Yeah, we have got a crown, we've got a scepter, we've got a robe for the winner. So at the moment, we're just trying to source an actual throne for them to sit on.
I was just trying to think who, obviously off the top of my head, I'm just like, again, as a fan, I tend to fancy book the crap out of stuff, and I'm just like, I can imagine this person just fully on, robe, scepter, crown on, just just ruling it over everyone, and just absolutely making the absolute most of just the authority. Just like visually, that would be awesome. But I think all 6 people potentially, I don't think you could go wrong with any of the winners. That's what makes it cool as well.
I think if anybody's got anything to say about it, but Jack Johnson, won't it? Mr. Salford himself.
I mean, he originally didn't want to enter the tournament, and then now because Ayrton's in it, he wants to be in it, and now he wants to win it. Now he's in it, so it's Jack for you.
Hometown hero.
Obviously, yes. The man that I may have offended by saying Salford, so apologies to him. I'll be rooting for him now, just as a way of apologising and making up to him. That's my amends. I will publicly root for him in the tournament.
He also, nice bit story about Jack is, so he slept rough behind the venue, and it's kind of a big. He said he always used to be around that venue, walked past it all the time. They'd never been in. It's kind of a nice moment for him to come back to theirs. It's made a success out of his life, and it's a really good full circle moment for him.
That would be, like the icing on the cake. Like I said, to go from that to being stood in the venue, just sat on a throne, that's kind of like a fairy tale. But that's again, though, is it too good to be true? Some dastardly person could just totally piss on his dreams and just ruin the night.
Buy a ticket and you'll find out.
Yeah. Ooh.
There's not many left. So.
No, there's not. We're gonna have to have a measure up, aren't we?
After what?
We're gonna have to measure up, aren't we, to make sure.
So the venue says they can hold 200. Obviously, they've not had a ring in there. They've got enough chairs. We kind of said, as a joke, because we didn't think we'd get to like 150 tickets. We said, so we're 40 off that now, but we thought 100 was like the pipe dream for boiling. I had a stretch target of 150 in my head because that kind of pays for certain things that we need in the future. But we kind of said if it gets anywhere near 150, we're going to have to go and actually put seats out to make sure that we can fit 200 in there. So if things go well in the next 3-4 weeks and maybe we've sold 40 more tickets, we're going to have to pause tickets, I think, whilst we go down and measure up.
Yeah, we might have to do anyway, just in case.
These are good problems to have.
Yeah, it is a good
We never
problem
thought
to
we'd be in this position. We never thought we'd be worrying about actually fitting people in. So that's positive.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's, the worst. You could be sort of be like, oh crap, I'm going down there to measure up to try and make it look more packed than it is by doubling up on things. So yeah, if you guys get to 150, that's amazing. I do think that's an amazing story to be told, though. Like what I said, the Sleeping Rough, the fairy tale kind of, that to me as a fan, that gets me invested. And yeah, I like that. I'm intrigued more so now. I didn't know that information before.
Hey, we didn't know the information until we announced the show, and Jack just came up with a big essay on Facebook, and I was like, "You could have told us that before." Cause,
yeah, because we had told him what we were doing, so he knew where we were going, and then it just came up as a surprise, didn't it?
Yeah.
But that's a story right there for you. That's that it writes itself. That's it helps you guys out. But obviously, it's not just the in-ring talent. You got you guys do what you do. Ring announcers, commentators. We got sort of. How did all that kind of come about as well? Again, did you have people in mind? You got lined up for that that side of it.
So with ring announcer, my friend he has worked on the radio around the Northwest for as long as I've known him, and so like he's been working the last 20 years. He does, he's not actually done wrestling ring announcing, but he has done all your fun run announcing and all that sort of stuff, like stages, like constant radio stuff. So we thought we'd give him a chance, because he has had a couple of matches himself, but not kept up with the training. So you think he wants to be involved somehow. He's done us a nice little rundown video that we'll be releasing nearer to the time of all the matches. Whereas commentators at the moment, because obviously, like I said, we're infancy and on a budget. At the moment, we won't be having commentators, just because we need to see where it goes. We will be having.
We can add it in as like a post production, though, can't we?
Yeah,
if we wanted to.
Yeah. If we get to 150, we probably will. So we've got some people from the University of Salford who have offered to come down and film the show, which is good. So that means we're going to have footage, which is the most important thing for us for social media afterwards. It was more of with the extra production values, it was more let's get all the talent we want. Let's make sure we've got a ring. Let's make sure we've got a venue, all the basics. And then as we've started selling more tickets, being like, right, let's find a photographer. Let's find this. Let's find that. So it's been a piece by piece.
Like the old ECW saying, accentuate the positives and hide the negatives. Kind of what we've been doing. Yeah.
If you're going to learn from anyone, drink his Kool-Aid. You guys, you just need to watch Beyond the Mat and just listen to that Paul Lee speech on Beyond the Mat over and over again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
but, I was going to ask you. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just saying, so there's a massive screen in the venue, and we had no budget or plans to use it for now to like future shows, but we looked like we are going to be able to get someone in to put stuff on the screen for us. So it's just slowly, bit by bit. So hopefully, the production values will look better than we thought it originally was going to at first.
Well, as you said, they'll just keep. Well, fingers crossed, they'll just keep getting better and better. Like you said, this is realistically show one. You're not going to go in or singing or dancing. It's going to be like, right, as you sort of said, you showcase the strengths, hide the weaknesses, cover this up, see what works, what doesn't work. Like, right, okay, that works. Okay, now we can add this to it on show 2. Now we can add this to it on show 3. So until you gradually get to where you're going, and everything's all singing or dancing, and everything looks all pretty. I was going to ask you about the social media side, YouTube primarily, because again, you guys know what you're doing on the socials. Have you got any plans, to use YouTube? What the show's been going on a month later, kind of thing. We getting eyes on the products that way.
We will be putting as soon as possible, and we will not be bothered about copyright or anything. We'll just be whapping it on. That we know we're not going to make money off YouTube, so we want to use it as a tool to get people to come to the venue rather than subscribe to the YouTube, because unless in 10 years we're massive and we can charge people to subscribe to our YouTube channel and things like that and monetize everything, then maybe But for now, it's going to be we'll release all the shows on YouTube. We'll put individual matches on YouTube. We'll have everything. We'll have highlight packages of everything on all socials, all the full show on YouTube. We'll have separate matches on YouTube if you just want to watch that. All sorts of stuff. We're just going to use everything as possible.
Yeah,
I think that makes perfect sense. Again, as we keep kind of stressing, it's the first show. You see what works. For me, again, anybody who's watched this channel, who follows me on the socials, knows I love promotions using YouTube. I just think it makes perfect sense. Why would you not? It's free. It gets eyes on the product. You're more likely to get people to come to future shows if they can watch a show that's happened previously, especially if the storylines, because they can catch up with what's going on. They're not coming in blind kind of thing. You can see what happened at the previous show, so you're not going to hesitate. You can go to the next show and be like, right, I know where I am. I know what's going on. Let's crack on. I think my favourite promotions in this country have all got a very strong YouTube foundation, because I can just go off and watch them when I want on YouTube, like North Wrestling in Newcastle, things like that. Basically, I think they've just got a very good business structure for the YouTube side of things.
I think speaking of stories and people keeping up to date, because obviously you get the people who don't come to every show and they'll just sketch on. We're gonna try, depending on print costs and if I can get it past my work and things like that, is have A4 sheets on people's seats, just to a little rundown of each match and little character bit, or what's happened with certain people, just so people can have a bit of context if they haven't been, or especially on this first show, I'm going to try and get an A4 sheet just to explain who the people are, QR code for tickets on there for the next show, and so if that is hopefully happening, just depends on whether I can print off 200 pieces of paper.
That's good. Again, because the thing is, obviously, I know it's the first show, but you've also got to take, it might not just be, it's not just your first show. It might be some of these people that are coming to the show, first ever wrestling show as well, kind of thing. So, I mean, you've got the mindset as well. Obviously, the first match is crazy important because it's your first match of the first ever show, but you potentially got a load of new fans, never been to a show before. You've kind of got to educate them in what to do, kind of thing. You've got to put on a very clear good guy against a very clear bad guy. So look, cheer this guy, boo this guy. This is pretty much how the rest of the show is going to go. This is what you have. This is what you do.
Yeah, definitely.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Because you say, even though everybody knows what not everyone, but a lot of people know what WWE is, they don't necessarily understand that in a smaller venue concept. So yeah, you're right. The match we are going to open with is going to be sort of to set up what we're about and to define the clear good guy, bad guy. This is who you want to cheer for. This is who you want to boo. That kind of thing.
But also a quality match as well. Yes. Well, I'm not saying what it is.
Got obviously set the bar. This is, from speaking to promoters, I know there's different mindsets, but for me, the first match has to kind of. I know some people like to start off slow and build it up, to the grand finale kind of thing. But for me, that first match, you're setting the tone. It gives you kind of what people to expect for the rest of the show.
And I think it's like I said, the first match of a new promotion on the first show, I think needs to be potentially one of the best matches you've got.
But you still need to build. Again, I'm speaking from this side of, you guys know more about it than I do, obviously. But yeah, you kind of you run that risk of starting off with the best match possible, and then it ended. It's like if you watch a film, you could watch a film and it's been amazing, for 90 minutes. But if the last 10 minutes of that film is shit, you're walking away from that cinema that fucking sucks.
Yeah. And it's the same. You've got to open in the same way to get people's attention.
Yeah, go open way back and finish way back.
They don't feel like they've been duped or robbed or anything. You have to be consistent throughout the whole show. Which is like we alluded to earlier. There's going to be a standard, and you've only like Bentley said. It sounds horrible, but there's a set standard. If you don't meet that standard, then unfortunately, there's no room on the show for you.
I think obviously again to rewind back to Troy. From what I've heard of him from other promoters, he's the kind of guy who will go out of his way, to do whatever he can to make you guys, to help you guys out, kind of thing. He'll record promos, he'll do this, he'll do that. So that's at least one person I can sort of say I've heard nothing but good stuff, and they're crazy helpful.
Shout out to Troy. Troy and Lily both offered to take some posters and flyers off us and put some up in there because they live near the venue, or nearish the venue. So we've had help in that regards of those guys, which, we also wanted to stress though, because there's a lot of wrestlers who feel like they have to do that to try and get bookings and have to do, they have to put that draft in. We don't want to be like that. We don't want to be, if you do this for us for free, then we're going to book you. We're not going to do that because we've been through that ourselves and we know how crap it is. And we know that it's always on not even the promise of a booking, it's the hope of a booking as a wrestler. So we're not going to be like that. We're having nobody working for free on the show. Nobody's helping out for free.
Yeah.
Because we don't believe in it. We don't believe in free labour just because someone thinks they might get a booking. We feel it's harsh on them because they think they're getting a booking. And it doesn't put pressure on us, but it makes us will probably make us feel bad for not booking them because they've come and helped for free. So we don't want that relationship. We just want people paid to be there.
That's where you guys are kind of good in that sense as well. Like you sort of said, you just said it kind of thing. You've been there, you've experienced that. You know how much that sucks. You don't want to be those guys, so you can kind of draw from that experience and be like, right, how would we want to be treated? And that's how I'm going to treat. That's how I'm going to treat them.
And that's what we've been like because obviously we've had wrestlers contact us, ask us if we've got any spaces or to look at the stuff. We have replied to every single wrestler who contacted us and who's sent us stuff, and we've replied to them because we know how much that has sucked in the past when we've sent stuff to promotions or contacted somebody about promotion and they've just left you on red or not even read it. So, we just want to, because we've been wrestlers ourselves and we'll still are wrestlers ourselves, we want to treat the wrestlers right because that'll get the best out of them and it'll also get you a better rep within the industry. People want to work with us. And we're also, because wrestlers don't get paid a tremendous amount, shock in the UK. So we're giving people the chance to actually earn more money. So every wrestler's got a link. So if a fan buys through that link, that wrestler will get extra money on top of their wage. So quite often when you do like interval photos or photos whenever, the wrestler doesn't get a cut of that. We're giving the wrestlers a cut of the photos. So, your international talents will when they come in and with better promotions, but your local halftime photo wrestlers don't get a cut of that money. So now we're introducing that as well.
I like that. I never thought about that before. I never really sort of picked up. Yeah, again, I don't know the inner workings. My perspective is always from this side of the curtain kind of thing. But I never thought of that. So that's cool because that's obviously it kind of motivates them to get over. If they're over with the fans like them more. The fans more likely to want a photo with them, and it's a bit of extra money in their pocket. I like the link thing as well because if they can bring a lot of their fans with them. And again, they're going to get a reaction at the show that makes them look like $1 million, and it puts them in a good light. It builds up custom for you guys, but it makes them invaluable as well.
Yeah, and it shows us because we obviously have tracking on all links, who's selling tickets and who's the draws.
I like that. I've never heard of that. I don't know if anybody else does it. I just don't know about it. But that's the first time I've heard of that, and that's genius. So I tip my hat to you guys for that one.
Well, thanks. I've not been in a promotion that does it. Promotion may do it. I don't know. I've never wrestled a promotion that does it.
Just again, it's like now you've said it. It just seems like a really obvious thing to do because. It's just like, as you said, it's a very good way of gauging who the fans are interested in, who the fans are there to see, who's pulled them in through the door. You know, if you're in two minds about, right, we're doing this, who do we have chase for the title? Or, you know, the fans are really behind this guy. You know, sometimes you can get fan, you could base it on the sounds, you know, the cheers and stuff. But there are quiet fans sometimes who might be really behind somebody, but they're not overly vocal about it. But so this is a good way of gauging that as well.
I mean, I might have gone overboard with the tracking, but every link we put out on socials is got a slightly different tracking on it. So like every match announcement, I'll know if a ticket's gone through from that match being announced that's where it's come from. But like every link has got a slightly different tracking link on it, so I know exactly where it's come from, and we know where to focus our efforts in the future. So it's more of a learning thing.
I've just got images of, I don't know if you guys ever watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but I can just imagine you being like Charlie Day in front of that big whiteboard trying to follow all the trackers.
Pretty much on my spreadsheet. I love a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Just get a random text message at like midnight. So 2 tickets from this location. Oh, God.
I've now set it up so my spreadsheet automatically updates. So when a ticket gets sold, it'll update my Google sheet with how many tickets, where from, the area it's been sold, where it's been sold on the website. I'm quite a nerd for those sort of things.
All right, I've gone from Charlie Day. This is an old reference, so it might be before your time. Apologies, but a guy called Dave Gorman, who loved the pipe start, who loved a graph, did like flip shows kind of thing. I've just got that in my head now. I can just imagine you being stood there with like a little pointer, just flicking through the graphs and the bars.
That's how I'm going to tell the rest of us what to do on show day. I'm going to get a flip chart.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Where's the furthest away ticket purchased?
Oh,
Do you know?
give me a second. Don't have off the top of my head, but I think it might be maybe the other side of the Peak District.
Ooh.
Chat amongst yourselves while I check my spreadsheet.
So so we've got October. Have you got it in your head yet whether you're running sort of you running 3 shows a year, 4 shows a year? I'm not going to presume you're running 12, you know, from the get-go.
We were looking at doing like 5 a year, spread them out nice and evenly. Obviously, again, it depends how successful it is. We don't want to spread our sales too thin. I think that's another issue you can come across sometimes, is you just run too many shows and it just kills your market. I mean, we've got dates for the next two shows after this one. Obviously, we'll be releasing them as and when. So yeah, we're just trying to move everything forward at the moment.
Yeah, I think realistically, when you're starting, like you said, 5. I mean, I was expecting to say kind of 4. You know, like on a sort of 3-monthly basis kind of thing, which as you're getting built up. Obviously, 5 shows. What you're talking about every 6 weeks.
Yeah, roughly. Every 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah, obviously avoiding sort of like Christmas stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a big gap between the first show and when we're going to announce our second show, and then there'll be a lesser gap then from the second show. And to answer your question, a place called Retford on the other side of Sheffield.
Oh, yeah. So you got the Yorkshire. You're pulling in the Yorkshire crowd as well.
And that ticket was bought on Reddit.
Ooh.
There you go. I've got the stats everywhere.
That's the thing. That it's just the amount of like for advertising purposes. Like I say, you just mentioned Reddit there. You know, I'm kind of in my head. I'm like, you got Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, but there's not so much other stuff out there that I don't even use, that I don't really focus on, that I probably should do. But obviously, like I said, that's right up your street. So you've got that advantage of being like, right, we can tap into this, tap into that.
To be fair, I didn't even know you could really advertise on Reddit. I mean, because obviously there's rules on all the forums and stuff, and like I think Atomic from Liverpool, I came across them on Reddit on wrestling, and on like the Liverpool forum, they were just posting about their show. So I was like, well, let's see if there's a Salford in Manchester one, and we'll just post stuff in there.
It's just the amount of, like I said, the posting still needs to be done. You need to kind of catch the casual fan walking past kind of thing. but the avenue to get people's attention now is just crazy kind of thing. Obviously, again, going back to when you guys started, you couldn't even have dreamed about just having this much access basically to people's brains, to their eyes. You can just be like, right, bish, bash, bosh. There are at least 10 different ways of getting something for somebody to see something.
Yeah, and hopefully, I feel like we've done it right so far. We'll see how it goes now. I think show 2 is going to be the hardest.
Yeah.
We've got the intrigue of the first show.
Yes. That's what we said from the get-go, weren't it? Show 1, show 1's going to be a lot easier than show 2 because, like you said, you got the intrigue, you got the questions, you got the what's it going to look like. But show 2 will be the one where, right, okay, we know what Salford City Wrestling is now. Do we want to go back? Yes, you do want to come back.
You're going to buy a ticket that night on the QR code on the piece of paper that I hopefully got printed out.
And then it will fill your spreadsheet straight away.
And I'll be like, we don't need to sell any tickets, Boiling. We've already sold out tonight. So
yeah.
We don't need to do any advertising.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
That's the thing that I don't think we'll ever rest on our laurels. I think we'll always advertise. You can get too complacent, can't you? Assume you've got your target audience, and so you just stop advertising as much. It doesn't work like that. You've still got to keep on top of it. We'll have to get a banner outside the venue with the QR code on it. We'll have to get a banner outside the venue.
Loves a banner, and she really wants us to get a banner outside the venue.
You just come up with like some cool name for it, like ECW had the bingo, like kind of like the ECW bingo hall, or you have to come up with like some sort of like the Salford Den or the Salford pit or something. I don't know.
We'll spitball some ideas.
But yeah, the second show, that's like that's where the pressure lies, because again, so I'm a massive movie geek, so I'll always kind of reference back to films and stuff like that a lot. Sequels normally, with a few exceptions, they're not as good as the first one. I know it's different in wrestling, but sometimes you feel it's because of the pressure. It just got too much, or people had raised expectations, and you've got to meet those expectations. But I said you've gone into this with a 3-show plan. Do you kind of know what you want to do for show 2 already, loosely?
Yeah,
the Terminator 2 equivalent of wrestling shows. But then show 3 will not be Terminator 3.
No funky sunglasses on or anything like that.
I'm not big into films, but I would class wrestling as more a series than a film, because obviously end of a series there's always a cliffhanger, isn't there, or something to catch you to the next side, whereas a film, even if the first film has a dead stop most of the time, and then it's let's bring another one back.
That is a better analogy. Yes, I stand corrected. Like sort of said, you want it to be like a series 1, series 2, series 3. You say you end series 1 with a cliffhanger, make people want to come back. Because that's it. You've done your job well. Like I touched on it earlier, kind of thing. You're going to have done your job when the tickets go on sale for show 2, and you sell a high percentage of those tickets without even announcing a match.
Or we don't, and then we just stop.
Yeah, it's like. That didn't work.
You know what? We tried.
Yeah. We had a laugh. We put on a show. We made some money. Maybe. Yeah. At least we tried. No, I'm confident it'll work.
From talking to you guys, again, I'm not jinxing anything, but you're coming across as like what you're talking about, what you're doing, you've got this plan in mind. You seem a lot more prepared than some people I've spoken to previously. When they're talking about a first show and stuff like that. Again, years of experience, but I think the key thing is how to treat people, how you would want to be treated, so that's how you're going to do it. And I think that's going to make people look forward to working with you or wanting to work on your shows going forward.
Yeah, I think that was our main ethos. It was like, let's do this properly, let's do this professionally, let's do this how people should be treated. Let's just see if we can, make it a success.
Alton Steen as well. So I'm trying to just bring up the names of talent as well, but talking to you guys, like I say, you've got a good selection of talent. Like I say, keeping it small, but it's a quality over quantity for the first show. But yeah, Steen's also somebody else who, again, I see him on the poster. You've kind of got my interest straight away.
Because nobody knows what Aiton Steen is. I think that's the mystique of it. No, it's true, and I think he'd agree. Nobody really knows. So I think, like you said, you see them on a poster, and you kind of think, okay, we'll go and check it out, see what it's all about.
And anyone following on social media he's already slagged Salford off, so that's why Jack wanted to face him.
Yeah.
And if anybody's going to ruin, like I said, the fairy tale ending, Dean is just, you can just imagine the joy and the glee, they were taking it. It's despicable.
Yes, he's determined. I mean, he didn't even know there was any wrestlers from Salford going to his promo, so.
I think there's a bit of bravado in there. Take it with a pinch of salt. I think he's just saying things to piss people off.
That's what we want from our heels.
Is there anyone? I'm sorry, I was about to ask, but I don't want you to sort of name names for people just for be like and then. But if you've got the kind of an idea of sort of the kind of characters then you want to bring in the future kind of thing, or you want it to bring in like a big OTT kind of, people to get, people's attention, people that look good on posters. You mentioned obviously Troy earlier, you put him on a poster, he looks a business. And there's a few guys out there that I think you can put him on a poster and you just be like, right, okay, yeah, again, that's a professional wrestling.
There's two people in there who we've been watching recently. There's the one I sent you earlier today.
Yeah.
And that the other guy that you sent me all this stuff, the big tall guy. I don't want to say his name. Just in case we can. Yeah,
I know what you name names. I don't want to put you in that position. Kind of thing where
there's a couple of people who've got our eyes on, and then going back to sort of like we were saying about the women's division, there's quite a few people that we've got our eye on with for that as well.
I think it's more when we're looking, it's someone who looks the business, looks like they're a wrestler, as bad as that sounds this day and age, because someone got a promo and has a character and can get a character across.
And he's believable.
Yeah, he's believable in that role. There are 3 criteria when we're looking for a wrestler.
They're the boxes to be ticked, basically. I remember somebody saying before as well, it's not just some promoters I talk to, they're more interested in seeing promos from people as opposed to matches, because they can tell more about what somebody can do based on a promo or what they could offer the promotion based on how they kind of get themselves over, as opposed to like we sort of said before, you can have a 5-star match and not everybody's going to get into it. But if somebody can deliver a promo 9 times out of 10, the audience is going to be hooked.
I think that's double-edged sword.
I kind of disagree with that. Yeah.
You could watch a promo that's fantastic, get in the ring, rubbish.
Yeah.
I think you need to see both. Because also, I feel like you can tell by the way someone wrestles with their character as well, if they're going to be good at a promo or they're good at getting the character over. Not promos are extremely important, yeah, but I think you still need to be able to wrestle to a decent standard.
Oh yeah, fundamentals. Apologies. Yeah, that's probably my wording on that one. But promo's not the be all and end all. Apology. Yeah, not like that. Obviously, you need to know the person safe. You don't want to put anybody in danger. You've got to know the fundamentals at least, kind of thing. But yeah, I think that it was kind of more worded as in like, if the promo gets the person's interest, then they'll check out the wrestling. They'll then go and look further into them, kind of thing. They'll dig a bit deeper into what they can do, kind of thing. But that's what gets their interest initially.
There's one I sent Boylan because I hadn't actually seen him wrestle, but he was a good promo, and I think we have ended up potentially booking him for one of the shows in the future.
I'll say
yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, for what it's worth, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to show 1. I'm looking forward to see what you guys do afterwards, based on talking to you now kind of thing, because I know it's not going to be a one and done. Obviously, the show one, you say you've hit the 100 ticket mark. Fingers crossed you get the 150. There will be a show two. You'll build on what you've done on show one. And I mean, I'm always excited for people to have new places to work as well, kind of thing, and for people to be able to experiment with the character or with what they can do. Especially guys like Troy, I know they go to different promotions and kind of mix things up a little bit. There'll be like a destroyer in one place, or there'll be a meaty man in another place. I just think the more promotions as well, the more good promotions as well, the more chance it gives the talent to, they can experiment a little bit, they can have a bit more fun.
Yeah, I mean, we've got people who pitched his ideas. We've had Dave Birch, he's gone a bit more serious in our promotion. He did his promo the other day. He wanted people to forget about Star Wars and go all destroying everybody. So we've got we're letting people have creative freedom within reason, and also if it fits with our vision as well at the same time. But we're not, we want people to give us ideas, because we have our ideas, but we're not as opposed to changing them if we think something works well. So
be flexible.
Yeah, we can pivot. My new favourite saying.
Spend a little bit. Gentlemen, I've just clocked the time. Obviously, kept you for a bit longer than I sort of said I would, so apologies. But yeah, mate, you guys, hopefully, just talking about it as well, you guys have got to be hyped for this first show. Like I say, you've hit the 100 ticket mark. You're going to get up to the 150 mark soon, hopefully. Yeah, tell me you're excited.
Of course.
I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. So
yeah,
more excited than nervous. Hopefully, that's the good thing. When it starts getting a bit too more, you kind of got to keep the positive up.
I think once I've had my match, I'll be more quiet. I'll be more relaxed, because I think then I can concentrate on the rest of the show.
You could be the Booker man again.
So I can just make sure that nobody's overrunning time and things are running smoothly and no one's dying.
Always a plus. Always a key. Gentlemen, do you want to plug where people can find you on the socials, where they can buy the tickets, and obviously we'll tag you in everything as well when we upload. But yeah, let them know where they can find you.
Facebook, Instagram, Salford City Wrestling. All the links to all the tickets are all through our social media posts as well. October the 18th, Pendleton Social Club.
Pendlebury Social Club.
What I keep calling it Pendleton. I don't know why. It's Pendlebury Social Club.
$6 doors, 7 o'clock start, £12 adult,
Yep.
£30 family, £6 for a kid. Families, 2 adults, 2 kids. We've also recently added accessibility tickets, where if you have a carer, they come free. That's
Obviously,
on the website.
you have to have the carer's badge with them, though.
Yeah.
You can't just rock up with your mate in a wheelchair and pretend.
Yeah.
I say that because it will be in Salford, and you can guarantee people will try that.
Yeah.
It's something I would try. So I've got to think of you got to think of it from that point of view, aren't you? What would I try? Right, let's try and account for that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love the carer thing as well. Something I'm not really seeing very often other promotions do. So you're doing new things, you try new things, but the good things as well. So shout out to that, because again, that's something that will get people's attention. People will notice that and be like, might be more inclined to go, or just again, it's spreading the word. It's spreading like a positive attitude for the promotion. So yeah, kudos on that. Obviously, as I said, we will tag you in the Twitter posts, the Instagram posts, on Facebook, everything like that. If you're not following Salford City Wrestling, please do so. Keep your eyes peeled. Interact as well. They're an amazing social media platform. Like I sort of said, what you guys do with the posts, the fan interaction, keep it up. It's awesome. And have an amazing first show. That's all I can really say. Break a leg,
Thank you very much.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
But
no, thank you, mate.
So obviously, everybody who's watching this, please, like I said, please go buy a ticket, follow them. Keep me in the loop as well. Let me know what you're looking forward to, what matches you're looking forward to, and just help us hype it up as much as possible. So as always, thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the generic stuff I ask you to do after every episode. And I will see you back here again very soon. I was speaking to Mr. Marshall Warner from Pursuit on Wednesday, so we're looking forward to that. And we'll see what his beef is with Jeebus. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for talking to me. And so we'll see you again very soon.
No, thank you very much.
Take it easy.
Bye.